Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is Kristen Gauze, and I am the Manager of Business Development here at INSZoom. For today's webinar, we are going to go over the For National portal. We're going to do an overview, and then I will show you how to grant access to your For Nationals to access the For National portal from the Case Manager portal, and I'll also show you where you can update the access rights to what your For Nationals can see when they are in the For National portal. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is go over the For National portal. Now, if you are a user of Professional Edition or Enterprise Edition, then you have the ability to grant access to the For National portal. So this is something that you can send access rights over to, your For Nationals, possibly employees, assignees, individuals that would need to log in and possibly have a look at their case, their status, their visas, expiring documents, etc. So it is something that you all have access to. It is free of charge, so you can fully utilize it. And when you log in, or when the For National logs in to the portal, this is their landing page. So this is how it's laid out. And starting over here on the right-hand side, you can see that it shows events and meetings. If they click on the link over here for more, it actually will link them or push them over to the calendar section that's located over here on the left-hand side. So it will expand and show all of the appointments or activities that you have set up for your For National. All right, so it looks like somebody may have possibly lost audio. So somebody posted a question. So if anybody else has this particular problem, please, post a question so I get notified, so I'm not, carrying on talking to myself. All right. So over here, we're going to keep up the right-hand side. So the next item that is available is the corporation contacts. So if you link a case manager to a corporation, then their information would appear right here. The next section is for firm contacts, and this is going to be actually I have that backwards. The corporation contact is the individual, the HR at the corporation, and the firm contact is the case manager at the law firm. And if you upload your picture into your case manager's portal, then your picture will appear. It's really small, so we can't really see what you look like, but it does appear. And then at the top of the page, we have a section that says expiring in 6 months. So if they have a document that is about to expire within the next 6 months, then it will appear in this section. If they don't have any documents that are going to be expiring in the next 6 months, then this section would appear blank. So for this example, we have a China business visa, or an F visa, that is set to expire on August the 23rd of 2016. Once this visa actually does expire, then nothing would appear here. And then as we continue on, there's the icon at the very top of the page for the house. So if at any time, if your For National is it looks like people's audio is going in and out. I really am sorry about that. I'm not sure what the problem is. Hang on one second. Let's see here. I'm using GoToWebinar, and I've never had an issue with the audio, but there's always a first time for everything. So let's see here. Hang on one second. Okay, I switched headphones, so hopefully that will alleviate the problem. If it is a GoToWebinar issue, then I'm not really sure how we're going to solve it. So if you all can let me know at the end if it was really awful and you could hear nothing, then I can reschedule the webinar and do it again next week. So just keep me posted. If you don't hear anything and you don't learn anything, then obviously we need to do it again. So just, let me know. All right. So I'll just cover this section over here with expiring visas in 6 months again. And what we have in the example here is a China visa that is going to expire in the next 6 months. So it will expire August the 23rd of 2016. Anything that is going to expire within the next 6 months will appear here. If you don't have anything about to expire, then it's going to be blank. Then we have the icon at the top of the page for the house, the little house icon, or the home page. And if you are navigating through the system and you are in any of the locations here on the left-hand side, you can click on the home icon and it'll take you back to this location. All right, carrying on, we're going to go ahead and go through the center of the page and review the dashboard. So the first section on the Foreign National dashboard is the to-do list. So if you email your Foreign National questionnaires, docs checklists, or forms, when you do that, it will show up here as a to-do item. So if we click the first link, page is going to load, and it has the action items that I sent to them via email. So they have a questionnaire that needs to be completed, and they can click on the hyperlink to complete the questionnaire, or you can see I sent them a case docs checklist. So from this screen, they can upload their documents. They can also view them if they have already uploaded them. So they can just click the hyperlink, the little icon for upload, and then they can upload the documents. And it does tell them if you have set the document to either required or not required, or if applicable. And then once it has been uploaded and you've viewed it on your end, then you can update it as received, and then the status over here would show that the document has been received. And then once they've finished everything, they can click the icon at the bottom of the page to inform immigration team. And this will send you an alert that they have completed the tasks that you have sent to them. So I'm going to click on the home page again, the home icon, so we can go back to the dashboard. And once the Foreign National has actually completed the tasks and they click the link for Inform Firm, these items actually go away. So it does stay updated with regards to what it is that they need to do. And then as we continue to scroll down the page on the dashboard, you can see the next section is for important dates. So I have listed some visas. You can see again that China visa that we have is expiring in 6 months. We have that one. We have a U.S. passport, and we can see that it is valid, and they also have a U.S. visa. And then they have a Brazilian visa. So the details right here are, it's just a quick overview, and it gives them the expiration date, and then they get a little country flag. And then as we continue to scroll, we have this section for cases. So for this individual, for Sebastian, he currently has one open case for an H-1B. But if I want to go and view the case status or the details specific to the case, then I can click this hyperlink and go down and view the case level. I will do that shortly once I've gone through the other items on the left-hand side. And then closed cases is also in the same box. It does stay reduced. If they click the plus sign, then it will open up and expand and show them their closed cases. So this individual has an employment permit for China, and it is valid until March 1st of 2018. I can close that. And again, it's just a quick overview of the visas. So if we had other important dates, possibly U.S. immigration documents, like I'm not even sure what they all are, like an I-94, then those would also appear important dates. So that is the center of the page. We have a link here for case requests, and you can see that this item, this icon tab, is also over here on the left-hand side. Now, not every firm does this the same way, but if you do allow, or if the clients that you are providing services to allow their employees or foreign nationals to initiate a case on behalf of themselves, then they can click case request. And so this would be the foreign national, so Sebastian could request a case with your firm. Now, I know when I have done global immigration, HR generally has internal process they have to review, and then they kind of notify the law firm if somebody's documents are going to be renewed. And so the authorization always had to come from the company. But if your firm does allow the foreign national to request a case, or like a renewal of a work permit, then they can click that icon and submit it directly to you. So continuing on, I'm going to go through the left-hand side now, and you can see if I hover over Sebastian's picture that it is actually going to allow me to click on that. So I'm going to click on his picture. I'll wait for this. I can tell that it's thinking and I need it to go. Doesn't want to cooperate with me. If you click on the individual's name, what appears is their personal details. So actually, if I go down here to one of their dependents or relatives and I click on their name, the profile will switch over to the dependent. So the main foreign national or assignee can access the profile for their dependents. And when I clicked on that, and the reason why I did that is because it'll show you the information that's available when you click on the profile. So when you do that, you have the applicant's information. And so the individual, it's set up like a questionnaire. So your foreign national can come in here. Now, they cannot change all of their information, but they can click to edit and they can update their name or possibly their date of birth. And they also have another tab for custom information. So if your firm utilizes custom data and you have informed your foreign nationals that they need to come to this location to access that custom data, then they will find it in this location. So again, once you click on the profile picture, it updates with applicant's information or the foreign national and then your firm's custom data. So I'm going to switch back to Sebastian. And so you can see how quickly and how easy it is to switch back and forth between the foreign national and their dependents. You just click on their name and it switches back and forth. So once I do that, then it does land automatically on the personal information for this individual. So just to keep everybody updated with regards to where we are, I'm going to click on the home icon. There we go. And we're going to continue on down the left-hand side. All right, so the to-do section, it is just a duplication of the to-do that's on the dashboard. But if they click on to-do, they can see the items that they need to action. Messages is the next icon. I'm going to click on that. And if you grant access to the emails when you send them from the case manager portal, then they can be viewed by your foreign national. So a couple of emails have been sent, and I do have it defaulted to grant access to the emails. So they appear here in the foreign national portal. If you don't grant access, then nothing will appear. And you can also customize this portal so you can hide this section. And I'll show you how to customize it when we are completely finished with this part. If the foreign national would like, they can simply click on the subject line, and then the email that you sent them pops up. The next section is calendar. So I'm going to click on calendar. And the calendar section shows any appointments or activities that you've added to the foreign nationals profile on your end. So if you do utilize the calendar or the appointment section in INSZoom when you're at the client profile page, then you can add appointments and meetings, and they can view those in this section. If they click the link, then they get a little bit more detail with regards to the reminder. All right, carrying on again, over on the left-hand side, we have a section for notes. And notes, it's exactly what it says it is, but you do have to grant access. So when you add a note to the foreign nationals profile, at the very bottom of that screen, it asks if you want to grant access to the foreign national. If not, if you have it defaulted to no, then they're not going to see any notes. You can, again, also hide this from view, but if you do grant access, then this is how it appears. And then the next icon is for documents. And this is going to show any of the documents that are available to the foreign national. They've been uploaded to the client profile page, not the case, but this is for the client profile page. You do need to grant access to them as well. So you have to remember that, like, all of the little tasks, the things that you do in the case manager portal when you are working on a profile, you have to give them access to see it. So for the overview today that I'm giving to all of you, I have granted access to everything so that you can see what it looks like when they have the ability to see all of the various areas. If that's not what you want, that's great. And just be rest assured, we can show you how to customize it so you can hide stuff. Then we have news and guidelines. So this section is a little bit different. The information in news and guidelines actually pulls from the corporation level. And you can see when I clicked on news and guidelines that we actually have two different tabs up here. So the first one is for news. And I uploaded a travel alert to the corporation level, and it appears here. So if you do have, for example, our company here, Consumer Enterprise, if they wish to put a travel alert, or maybe there's some kind of corporate change, maybe a change in a policy, you can upload them to these two sections. So if you click on policy and guidelines, again, you can see that I uploaded the foreign national procedures for travel. And then the foreign nationals clicks the link, and then they have the ability to open it up and view that item. But this does come from the corporation level. So if you do utilize this, you only need to upload it in one location, and then it is going to be viewable by all of the assignees for that company. It's a great little feature. All right, so moving along, over here we have this section for immigration. And the first one is for passport, and this will show the details, the passport details for your individual. If they have a passport that has expired and then you've added in a new one, they will both appear here. If they click on the link for a passport number, the screen will open up and populate, and it'll give them a little bit more detail. All right, so the next tab under passport is travel. So we click on travel, and it's going to show you the arrival departure information. So if you try to keep track of your foreign nationals when they are leaving the country, entering another country, maybe the company has asked you to do that for tax purposes so they know how much time is spent out of a particular country, then you can utilize the section in Zoom called Arrival Departure Info, and then you can put on their travel arrangements. So it's unlike a visa where you actually have a document to track. You can just add when they're going to be leaving a country and arriving in another one. So that's what I've done here. This guy's going to go to Belgium today. And then the last icon under immigration is for case requests. So we briefly touched on case requests when we were on the home page. I have a feeling this is opening up pop-up screens for me in the background. That's why, yes, it is. Here it is. Sorry. Utilizing two screens, so I'm missing my pop-ups. But it'll allow them to create a new case request if that is something that is permitted by the firms that you work with. And then again, under family, the very last section is the list of their relatives. So they can click if they need to view documents for their children or their spouse. You just simply click on their name and it will update to the profile page for that individual. So it's very easy to move back and forth. All right, excellent. Click back here on the home page. And now that we've kind of covered all of the tabs in the various sections, I'm going to go down to cases, and I'm going to click this hyperlink to go down to the case level. And then we can view and see what is available at the case level. So the screen is going to update. It's going to pull in all of the data for this H-1B case. Going to take a minute. My internet connection is not the best when I'm doing a go-to webinar. I pull a lot of data through. Okay, so the screen has now updated, and at the very top, it gives them the case name and ID, the date that the case was started, the status, the current progress, so we're at 22%, and this is tracked off the case steps and reminders. So as you mark case steps completed, it will update the case progress bar. It will show the last step completed. So the last one I marked as complete was to follow up with the clients on the questionnaires. And then the next one is review questionnaires and return documents. And then the For National at this case level has 5 tabs that they can click on. So the information is organized. The first one is going to show them the case steps. So when you build your case steps in the knowledge base and you attach them to the petition, you do have to choose whether or not the case step can be viewed by the For National, the company, or the vendor. If you grant access, maybe you have a case step that says send billing or send invoice, you can hide that. They won't see that particular case step, but they can see the ones that you give them access to, and it will show them whether or not the step has been marked as completed or if it is still not started. And then it will give them the date it was marked completed. The next tab is for details and dates. So this tab contains quite a bit of information. Lots of dates are available to them. So you can see as I continue to scroll through the page, and I didn't add any dates to this particular section, so it does appear blank. But those are all of the fields that are available to the For National. So if you add those details to a particular case, they will show up in this location. The third tab is for documentation. And so this would be if you have drafted any letters and you have granted access to your For National through the portal, then they can view them here. Supporting documents, that is different than documentation. So supporting documents is your docs checklist. So those are the copies of documents that you need from the For National in order to file the case. And it will show if they're uploaded at a case level, because they can click here to upload, then they will show up on this page as far as uploaded on. And the last tab is for communication. So these are case-specific emails. So if you do send emails from the case level, which most of us do when we're doing casework. If it's applicable to a case, you send it from the case level, and they will appear here. Again, you do have to grant them access, so I don't want anybody to get freaked out and concerned that all of their emails can be viewed by the Foreign National. So we have now gone through the entire Foreign National portal and just given you an overview. And I will switch over now to the case manager portal for this same individual. I'm going to switch browsers because that's the only way to be logged into Zoom with 2 bits of information at the same time. So I've logged in as myself in the case manager portal, and I'm now looking at the profile for Sebastian Cortez, and I am utilizing Enterprise. So if you have Professional Edition, you will notice that I have a lot more locate menu items and details available. So just keep that in mind. But to grant access to the Foreign National portal, you just scroll down the page, and under number 5 is Security and Tools. So I'm going to click on Access Rights. Okay, now for this page, I have obviously granted access to the portal to Sebastian, but you would go through each of these areas and decide, if you just want them to have access to view. It is going to default to no, but you can change it to either have viewing access or view and update. And then you have to decide how long they can have the access for. So you just go through each of these items and you make sure that they have access for a good amount of time, and then you can also grant access to their family members. And then when you've done all of that, you click on Save. And then again, over here on the left-hand side under number 5, I'm going to click on Email ID and Password. We get a pop-up window. It's going to pull into email format. And you can actually change this message here. It's it's a template, but it populates the email. Now it's not going to show you their username and password. It's going to send them the information. But let's see here. I did this earlier so I could show you all. It will send them, first off, the email with the user ID. And then in a second email for security purposes, about 2 minutes later, it sends them another email with the link. So they click on the link, and it asks them to create a password. And then once they've created the password, they're directed to just log in the regular way to global.inszoom.com, the same way you do. And then they use the user ID from email 1 with their newly formed password, and that's how they gain access to the system. So if at any time you're working with an assignee for National and they forget their information and they send you an email, you just come back here under number 5 and you can click on email ID and password, and it'll give them the information all over again. Okay. All right, so now that you know how to grant access to the portal, and again, if you use Professional or Enterprise, this is included in your monthly user license fee. So you have access to this. It will not cost any more money. So now I'm going to show you how to update the access rights to the portal. So you want to hover over the wrench and the screwdriver, and you want to click on Settings. And then once the page loads, you want to click on Organizational Tools. And then as you scroll down, under section number 5, it says Customize for Clients. So the first 2 items, that's for the corporation portal. So that's for your HR, global mobility individuals to access the corporation profile. And you can customize what they see as well. The third one is to set client shortcuts. So in Zoom, we have currently them listed as clients. You may call them employees or assignees or foreign nationals, but it's the third item down. And you can see when I hover that there's another pop-up window. So then you have 3 other choices. So I can either customize the shortcuts at the client level, a case level, or I can set arrival departure info. So just for the purposes of this training, I'm going to click on Client Shortcuts. And the page is going to load. And you can see that everything is checked off as to display to the client. So I have every single one of these items showing in the portal. If there are items that you don't want to have appear, they're not allowed to request their own case, maybe you don't utilize the news and policy section. Let's see. We don't want them to see emails or notes. That seems good. So then you can click Save for All. Now, if you click Save for All, this is going to update how it appears for every single one of your clients, all your corporation's employees. All right. If you wish to choose these settings for one company, then you can choose a corporation up here at the top. And then you'll get a pop-up window, and you actually find the company who you wish to customize the information for. And this is very important that you understand, because a lot of companies, when I have worked with them, one company may want certain information available to their foreign nationals, and then another company wants a completely different set of information available. So you do have the ability to customize it to meet your specific client's needs. So we can get rid of these items and click Save, and now we have customized the settings that are available for consumer enterprise. So sometimes there's a little trial and error as you're getting used to it. You know, what do you want to have appear? What do you not want to have appear? And you can work on it yourself. I always recommend everybody set up a test company in their portal. So for me, I mean, obviously I'm doing a training for you guys, and I've used consumer enterprise, but even when I worked in global immigration, I always had a test corporation set up so that I could add fake assignees, and then I would grant access to various things and then kind of flip back and forth and see how those items appeared. So if we go back and we refresh the screen for this guy, you can see right away, as soon as I click refresh, that the items that I took away, the email access, the policy and guidelines, and the notes, those tabs disappeared right away. So it will also make the For National portal, if you're only using it to say send them tasks or to check case status, it will really narrow down their ability to see all of the other stuff. It makes it look very simplified. So that was it. And that concludes our quick little 30-minute training today. I am recording this. Hopefully the audio was is good at the beginning. I will check it. And if not, I'll just re-record the training and post it. But I will make sure that everybody gets the information sent to you via email. And I know somebody had posted a question. So I will respond to that one particular question following this particular webinar. So again, thank you guys for joining. Thanks for taking 30 minutes out of your day to attend my little webinar on the For National portal. If you have any questions that you'd like to have more information on, just send me an email and I will do my best to get back to you right away. Thank you and have an excellent day.